Yeah, but I mean, the technology has taken over everything, really.
Yeah,
So,
unfortunately, it certainly has.
and it's all good. I enjoy technology for the most part. Sometimes it's very frustrating, but for the most part, I enjoy it.
Yeah, I
Well,
know you. I know you do.
well,
It's
I'm glad
another
somebody.
tool.
It is a tool, and today you just can't do business or exist without it. I mean, I've learned how to do zip files and put everything together and so forth, and for some of my clients, and I mean, we used to enjoy going out and seeing the guys and sitting down with them and so forth. Now, just send me a zip file. I'll see you later. That personal touch is kind of gone.
It is. I try to have as much personal touch with my clients or my customers as I can. Um, if they call me to reorder something, I'll sit there and yak with them or something.
Oh yeah,
If
yak with
if,
you know.
if I can, depending on if they have the time or whatever. But I mean, I have to say at this point, a majority of my customers I've never met, and I probably
What?
never will in person because they're spread around across the country, across the state.
Wow.
It's not like when I was in San Francisco and it was
At the morning, I'll call you back.
different times, different methods of doing business, and then the internet came alive, and that has changed everything even more than it ever was.
Yeah. We thought the Pony Express was exciting, but now look what we got today.
Yeah, we got lots of stuff,
Yeah.
Lots of stuff.
lots of gadgets.
Well, I try to keep mine at a minimal. Okay. I guess I don't understand Instagram. What's that other thing? Twitter. I don't understand that because I've never gone on it, try to use it, but I don't see any reason for me to use those things. I
Well,
know I know what's going on. I have my sources, and that's it.
well, Twitter is very similar to Facebook. It is more, I think, more business oriented. I follow quite a few, I won't say quite a few, but some companies and whatnot on Twitter. And when they want to announce something or they have a sale or they want to, sometimes they want to communicate, they'll do it via Twitter. Some service and some customer relationships are built via Twitter. But you really have to kind of know the platform fairly well.
Well, what I do, as you know, it used to be very personal. It's still personal, but it's so much, now, Bob, send me a proposal here. Fill out this, DocuSign it. Thank you very much. Okay,
Yeah.
somebody will call you and get the information. Oh, there's my check. Thank you.
That's how business works now.
And there are guys that I know that are my vintage. They say they could not be in business today because of the techniques we learned, in another, century, literally.
Yes, in another century, really. Honestly, that's very, very true. The prior century, but that doesn't mean you can't do business today,
Oh, you
particularly
can.
with tools like Zoom, the phone. I mean, you have to be as flexible as you can be, so that you can interact with people as much as possible and make it fairly seamless.
I was on a Zoom presentation this morning. Was it a Zoom presentation or was it a webinar? Okay. I mean, I could see the guys. They talked to me. They put up, all the here's this, then here's this, and so forth, and I could get all that. And then they say, when you're done, push this button, it'll all be sent to you. But that gives you a little bit of the human touch of the guys that you think you're doing business with, but you might not be doing business with. But I found how important to have those like you who really know the tech side of it and what to push and where to go over here?
I know portions of the tech side. There is so much to technology because it's constantly changing. New services, all kinds of new stuff, and my very small little niche I do fairly well at. Some of it's trial and error. Some of it, I beat my head against the desk. It's like when I'm trying to make the video of our meetings to put onto our YouTube channel. I edit that in a software called ScreenFlow, and the files are very large.
A definition of very large.
Over a gigabyte, easily over a gigabyte. When I export a video for our YouTube channel, it's usually close to at least 2 gigabytes. So they're quite large. Video files can be very large.
All right, now this is a secret question I'm going to ask you. Where is the cloud?
Where is the cloud? Is everywhere. The cloud is just made up of servers. The servers could be in 1,000 or 1,000,000 different locations. Some of that depends on the service you're using. If it's a particular small service, it's usually their servers are in one location. Now, if you're using Apple or Google or Amazon Web Services, which some of you may not be familiar with, they are everywhere around the world, everywhere. There are so many data centers sucking up so much electricity, you can install solar panels until the cows come home and you won't have enough energy.
Now there's a phrase that only our generation would understand. Cows coming home. The cows come home for what?
Well, they got to eat, and they got to eat, and they got to get milk.
That's hence yodeling. That's why they yodel. They yodel for the cows to come home.
That's right, yodeling.
Yeah, they're yodeling for their cows to come home.
Yeah, that's.
I've had clouds for years flying over the house. So. Hard time.
Yeah, well, there used to be a lot more cows in your location there, Bill.
Well, in Geneva, there were a lot of cows.
I almost had chickens for dinner. Yeah. The neighbor has chickens, and they like to jump up on his roof, and they will fly up on the roof, and they like to sit on the fence. Well, about 2 weeks ago, they got into my yard, so the daughter had to jump the fence and they were pretty tough to catch, Well, my grandma
chickens are extremely fast,
and they would have been in the stew before they knew what happened to them.
We just had a shall we call it a community issue concerning chickens. There's a guy down the street at the corner of 44th and Vicente, right in the corner. He's got chickens. Okay, he's got eggs. He lets them out and they run around. Of course, they're fenced in, etc. And somebody decided he can't have chickens. That's not nice. So they posted it on this, whatever it is, neighborhood thing. And everybody in the neighborhood said, go away. We like him. We like to go around and walk him, talk to them. He occasionally sells us eggs. Get out of here.
Yeah.
As long as you don't have a rooster. You can't have a rooster in San Francisco.
Yes.
But you can't have the white ones and the red ones and the green ones. I don't know what the hell.
I like chickens.
Yeah, we used to have chickens.
Loud.
My dad did an operation on the roosters so they couldn't crow.
Oh, really?
Oh, really?
Yeah, he operated on their throat, and so they would just go, nothing would come out. And the veterinarian down the block came to my dad and said, how did you do that?
Did you use a clipper?
They are the prettiest.
We had chickens, we had pigeons, we had rabbits, and this is all in San Francisco. Is that generation?
Really, in San Francisco?
Oh yeah, we had a 250-foot lot yard.
Well, the Excelsior at one time was a big rancho anyhow.
It was this past Geneva. The lots are huge out there. There used to be farms and ranches out there.
Yeah.
You know, so I had about 30 chickens when I was like in my 20s. You know,
You have to feed them all the time, every day.
you got to that's the thing about animals. There's no vacation.
No.
You know, and you have to feed them, and you have to be
Exactly.
clean. You know, you have to make them happy, otherwise they're not going to lay eggs. And you know, the raccoons were notorious for upsetting the hens. You know.
Oh, we got
So-
raccoons that are notorious.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they
Yes,
were.
they do some banking.
Yeah, but no, it's those little bantam roosters, man. They were very protective of their hens. They come charging at you all the time.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, they protected their hens big time. Those little bantams. They had no fear. I miss those days.
Yeah, well, my grandmother had chickens, but she'd buy the little teeny ones and then we'd grow them up, you know, then she'd take them and sell them over here if she wanted. Yeah, but that's what I had to do is go out and get the eggs, clean up,
Yeah.
etc. For the couple of summers that I lived with her. You know, she had 10 acres of corn, and the worst thing she had were the bees. Everybody ever been around a beehive?
No.
No,
Yeah.
okay. Well, she could walk into the beehive, take the top off, take the cones out, and the bees wouldn't bother her at all. My cousin Jimmy and I get within 100 yards, and the bees would say, they'd come after. Of course, we were shooting them with the BB gun, so that, I mean, maybe that's what we did.
So they knew what you were up to.
Yeah, well, yeah, you know, they had their scouts out there marking us up immediately. Let's see, where are we? Lion Steve is currently on duty at the new sheriff's place where he is. He works from 7 in the evening till 7 in the morning, and then usually does another 3 or 4 hours before he goes to the range, as he says. And he really likes it. And Lyle, thanks for the picture in the bulletin with him in his uniform there. He looks pretty good.
Well, he sent me that, so I try
And,
to put things down in the bulletin of interest.
of interest.
You about ready to start the meeting, or what?
Yes, that's why I'm. Who else is not? Where's Joe Farrow? I need Joe Farrow. Where is he? We have. I don't know where Joe is tonight, but because we want to talk about something. So I don't know where Joe is. At least you know, Bill made it, and you know, we've got enough. Aaron, I don't know where Aaron is, but he's always a welcome guest, and but at least we can. So let's do this. As I would say, what is it? It's 6:38. We're off and running. Okay. Let's start the meeting, please, and we'll have Lion Bill Graziano lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag
Flag
of the United
United
States
States
of
of
America
America
and to
and to the republic. for
Hey,
which
Bill,
it
only
stands.
Bill says it.
Oh, sorry.
one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Amen.
Amen.
Okay, and Zenaida, would you do the invocation, please?
Dear Lord, we offer this gathering to you and ask you to bless it. We ask you to enlighten our minds to carry out faithfully what we come to see, what the club duties are. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Good. And Lion Viola, would you do introduce who you see? Maybe you see
Okay.
more than I do.
Sharon?
Hi.
We're doing introductions.
Yes, just tell me who you see.
I see Sharon.
Okay.
Okay. Lyle,
Howdy.
Bill,
Hi. Lion Tail.
Zenaida, Lion Zenaida, and Lion George, and of course Lion Bob.
Good. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I was looking for Joe because I don't know if we have any correspondence. Anybody know if we have any correspondence?
We have correspondence. We have several items. First of all is a thank you letter from the Student Speakers Foundation for our $200 donation. I'm just going to go through these fairly quickly.
Sure.
Next is the Lions Eye Foundation Summer Fall newsletter, 4 pages. Next is a thank you from the Lions Eye Foundation dated 10/15 for a $200 monthly donation. Another one. And then last, well, I won't go into that one. Lastly, from our website, from Julie Habib, she was looking for places to donate her mother's prescription glasses and prescription hearing aids. I answered her via email, giving her location of a list of places to donate. And I told her that it would also be good to just slip the hearing aids in with the used eyeglasses. And then lastly, we had a note today which went out to everybody concerning the renaming of 44 schools or however many schools in the San Francisco Unified School District. They're trying to erase history or something.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're trying to do, but I sent that out, and so there we go. And that is all of the correspondence for the time being.
Cool.
Then
All right. We'll discuss that later. Later. Okay. All right. That's it.
That's it for correspondence.
You don't have the board meeting minutes?
Well, that's not discussed at this meeting, Lion Bob.
Oh, okay, but it says up there, Lions Club meeting says board. It says minutes of the previous board meeting. No,
that's at our business meetings, Lion Bob.
Oh, okay,
There's
fine.
business meetings and regular meetings.
All right. So
I think by the end of your term, you'll have it down.
Yeah, okay. It'll take me a couple of years so I can take everybody else. Right, George?
Okay.
You hear that? He's ready for a couple of years. All right.
We'll fix them up.
Okay. Well, then let's go on to a few committee reports. On the youth and community, how are we doing? And you were kind enough to send me a whole list.
Okay, youth and community. What's going on? I've got several pages here in front of me. I'll kind of run it down a little bit. As far as sponsors are concerned, we have $2,690 in sponsorships. All of them are not completely paid for, but it's all good. Ticket sales so far, we have sold 403 books. In fact, that's increased by 10 to 413 books so far. And that's all cash in hand already. So we're all good on that. Membership report. So far, members have purchased 85 books of that 400 and whatever. And then the sponsorships I already told you about. As far as friends and family, we sold, so far we have 33 purchasers out of 146 letters sent out. And we have sold 337 books. On the sponsorships, I already gave you the details, blah, blah, blah. We have 8 sponsors totaling $2,590, but we still need $1,400. And then on group sales, I'm waiting for the tickets to arrive, but we have 1,456 books on order for our various groups. And so far, the tickets have been paid for, blah, blah, blah. I lost my page. We even have a problem without selling anything. We have $4,576.50 already. with all expenses paid. So we're gold right now. That can go to doo-doo very quickly, though.
Lyle,
Yes.
Lyle, the Nikki Lions Club wants to participate in the raffle.
I already have their information.
Oh, you did? Okay, good.
Yes, they responded to me. They want 76 books.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Yes.
Because I told him to let you guys know, and I didn't know whether he had or not.
Well, yeah. I sent a reminder out to a bunch of people, and most of them got back to me. And there's 2 or 3 groups that did not want to sell this year because of COVID-19 and whatever. And we actually regained one group, Our Lady of Lourdes Parish, wants 300 books this year. So that more than made up for the difference of the groups that backed out. So we're gold. We're good.
Good.
Any other questions on that?
No, except I've got, thank you for sending me that list of everybody, because I'm taking it up to St. Gabriel's School itself. and get the
Right.
school
They
involved.
participated
Well,
last
we had
year.
one group from there. Okay, one group from there participated last year. Okay, and they did well. I think they sold, you know,
I don't remember the numbers
100
offhand,
books.
to be honest with you.
And one of their members won $100. So
Right.
I'll be going back. This is a different group that I want to go back to the school itself, and because the school needs, schools need help.
Yeah, they do. They do. I can give you their stats in just a moment. I got too many pages of stuff going on here. It's not important.
Well, one of the easiest ones I ever had was St. Elizabeth's Church in Portland. I went to the seniors club,
Right.
and I told them the books. And well, first I went to the office, and they said, "Well, there's a senior club," and so I went to the senior club. I said, "This is money to raise for the kids," and I explained it to them. They all raised their hand. I sold 100 books in 5 minutes. And the principal said that was the easiest. She said, normally you give the kids these things to sell and they lose half of them. So the senior clubs, as I said, I just went down to the senior, they happened to be meeting. I went down there and told them what it was for, what the prizes were. And I said, is anybody interested? They all raised their hand, 100 bucks. The church changed its priest, so the next priest wasn't interested.
Right. Well,
that is a good group to, each church has a senior group. And normally they're
unfortunately on the youth and community, although there's a lot of data available inside of our QuickBooks file, the way Hanford did the bookkeeping was somewhat different than the way I do it. And in order to find historical data on any particular group, before I took over the youth and community, you really have to do some searching and digging in order to find that information out.
I have all the files from.
We talked about that briefly, but
ever the see, I'll give you the files.
That's going to be great stuff, and
the old-fashioned way.
Well, all of those groups are in our files, or in my files, I should say, and I send all the groups that have sold previously. I send them a letter at the beginning of the year or the beginning of the raffle, usually in July or perhaps August, asking if they want to participate again. And every now and then one will come forward and say, hey, we want to do this again. So it's worth the effort to get a letter out to them. it's not a big deal for me once I get it organized. But everybody does what they could do.
They can, yes. All right, let's move on to the football pool so Lyle can tell me how much money I won.
Okay, football pool for the last 2 games, and fortunately or unfortunately, depending on how you look at it, Lion Bob Lahan is not on the list. Well, blah, blah, blah. On the game of 10-11, first quarter was Diana Nuzzi, second quarter Julie Kleinbach, third quarter Jill Gumina. Final was Kathy Soleil, and I don't think you even saw that check, did you, George?
George?
I did. She took and she said, "Look what I got in the mail." And I said, "Would you win 2 quarters?" She says, "I don't know," and pulled it away.
And then the reverse final of that game was Sharon Eberhardt. Okay,
Yeah.
a winner
All
wins
right.
every now and then. On the game of 10-18, first quarter was Jackie McDonald. Second quarter was Paula Nuzzi. Third quarter is Joe Lucchini. Final was Ward Donnelly the third. And the reverse final was Mike Sirocco. So that brings us up to date.
And speaking of Ward Donnelly, has anybody heard or seen or communicated with Ward?
I have not.
Because I
Yeah.
sent him a couple of emails and didn't get them back. Now,
I talked to him about something about 2 or 3 weeks ago. So I think maybe he'll eventually might try it, but
I asked him where the Lion eyeglass boxes are. I assume, it's a bad word, they're in his garage behind the agency, I think, but I'm not sure. That's what I asked him. Do we have any? And I didn't hear back from him. So I don't need to see him. I just need to go, if I can go by the agency and get into the garage for a few minutes. That's the only thing. Because there's a couple of places like Premier Eye Care and Stemplers on mission as well that need boxes because they've been, they got stepped on, so to speak. But I know the glasses from the boxes were in a paper sack in the garage, as we say. Okay, so he's functioning. That's fine.
Bob, you know that the Clinic by the Bay has an eyeglass box.
Good.
Okay. There's some eyeglasses in there. So
I usually wait till it gets full and then I go in and do a little
where do I drop them off?
No, the thing to do if you just take them, put them in a sack.
Yeah.
Okay. And then we take them and put them in Ward's garage right next to the rest of them.
Okay.
We store them. I have a couple sacks there already that are in the garage that I've gotten from, Premier Eye Care and a couple of other places. And I just throw them in there.
So when do you turn them in?
In March.
In March.
Oh, in March.
In March, one of the clubs will send out, come up the hill, Daly City, something like that, top of the hill, and then you come up and throw them out of your car into their car, and then they go up to, I think, first to Richmond and then to San Quentin. Okay.
So do you have to call Ward's business first, or? I
normally call the business.
Call the
tell them, "Hi, I'm
business?
coming down to, to put something in and take something out of the garage."
Okay.
And that's his son-in-law who runs the business, I think.
Okay.
He
Yeah, he's right up the block from where I am, so.
Yeah.
All right.
That's Arnie Sambell.
What's his name?
Arnie Sambell.
Okay.
Arnie, okay.
ARNIESAMBEL.
Wow. Pretty good. All right, let's move on to the crab feed, which is going to be an issue this year. As much as we may like it, finding a place that people feel, quote, safe in by the end of February may be an issue. I know that, the Italian American Social Club would like to do it, but that may be an issue more than just the place itself. I did not get a chance to check with Finbar they're, up off of Monterey down the street, et cetera, to see if they even have I know the location, I know the facility that they have, but whether they'll, let us in because the Catholic schools don't have it figured out yet what they want to do and who they want to do it with, et cetera. But, I'll keep on top of that because even if it gets down to, well, hopefully, by the end of the year, the first of the year, if we have a location, we may be able to put it together like we did. So that's still on the agenda, but maybe not.
So what date is a no-go date? Like when do we
Good
decide
question. If we want to do it in February, okay, the third or the fourth Friday in February, then we have to know by early January, no later than, okay, to get everything out and so forth. Getting the crab is, making a phone call to a couple of guys and going down and picking it up, and the other supplies, etc. But getting the people to commit to that. But I think we still have an issue, at least at the moment, of being, safe and well, and the mask, and and things like that. So we just have to keep that in the back of our mind. But hopefully, between the football pool and the youth and community and a couple of other things, we can at least keep some cash flow through the club.
There have been some flyers going around and some events happening, mostly on the peninsula, and that is drive-by dinners.
Yeah, that's drive-by. I've seen that. I know that lobster thing is a drive-byer.
And there's been a tri-tip one as well. There's been 2 or 3.
Yeah.
And I do not have any details on how they arrange that or make it work, but that might be something that we need to put into our thinking, and perhaps, if possible, get some information on it to see how they do that.
Okay, I know how the clampers do it because we just did it a couple weekends ago. Okay, at Malloy's. Everybody know about Malloy's? No, you're too young to know about Malloy's.
I know Malloy's.
And they just went there, and what they gave away was surf and turf, which they call is the tips and the crab, and it was drive by, and the guys handed things out. Of course, some of them got out, went over to and talked and so forth, and took a look around. But instead of having the normal sit down and so forth, they did it all by drive by. It's
What would be the price on a drive-by dinner?
Well, we have to work that out on where we can keep it. Can we keep it the same? Because the drive-by would have to include the crabs here, and the salad and the other things here, etc. So that's 2 boxes, which are easily obtainable. The salad and so forth. I think we could, as you just said, let's keep it there and keep talking about it. Let's see what our cost is going to be. If we could do it in a drive-by spot, okay, where we can all pull up in front of Lyle's house and do it out, but where would we do it when we could do the handout that people could get in and out of easily with a car? Parking lots and church parking lots work fine. So let's kind of keep that in mind, because if we could, I'm just thinking off the top of, if we could use a church's kitchen, okay, then you could drive in and out.
Well, the lobster one, the Lion's lobster one, that's at the where you get sandwiches at the lobster place. So they're having it at the lobster place where they have the kitchen.
They are not having it at a lobster place, Bob. Bill, it's all done by the Lions. They do all the cooking. They arrange to have a spot. Like I said, it's usually fairly down on the peninsula, Menlo Park, I want to say, in one case.
I believe it's at that.
But it's not a lobster place. It's
So
not a
is-
restaurant.
So the Lions are the ones preparing
Yes.
the everything else. It's not through a restaurant or something like that.
I can
No.
foresee that we would have the same or similar operation to what we have now. It would just be a bunch of people in the kitchen running out and dropping off plates, and I'm not sure how it would work,
Or
but
boxes. You'd have to box it up,
well,
probably.
yeah.
Yeah,
boxes
everything
or
has to
whatever.
be packaged. But it's the
Yes.
same package for everybody, right?
It's the same
Because they're only-
package. So
Right.
So
if you're
that's
doing
not
dine
hard.
out,
It's assembly
you get
line.
those little brown packages with the plastic, cover inside.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
and so you can put anything in there. It could be done. It might be a little more labor intensive, but it's finding the spot to prepare, and then the easiest place for people to drive by. Okay, in and out of the school parking lot or something like that. So yeah, let's just we'll keep that and keep working on it, because let's see if we can find a place to prepare that's kind of located where people can get in and out to it. And so look around out in the Excelsior, see what we can, whose place we can borrow the parking lot from. Okay.
Nothing much.
Most of our customers.
Well, what happened to the church that we used last time?
They using that place where we ate. They split up into 3 classrooms.
Oh, okay.
Okay, and
Yeah,
so
all right. That's
but
gone.
if they'll lend the kitchen to us for who knows, I'd have to check with the new the pastor who Father Tom knows, but
That might be a good place to
But
stop
the
by.
thing is, if you're going to do that, then it's our responsibility, if we use a facility, to disinfect it afterwards, not just
Yeah.
clean.
before and after.
Yeah.
yeah. But
So
anyhow,
that's different type of cleaning.
They were so pleased with us last year because
Oh, yeah.
you really cleaned up the place. It was better than anybody else. But they have a
But
I'd
it's
say-
different kind of cleaning. Okay.
Yeah,
It's
different.
different kind of cleaning.
and they've got a group from the school that does their crab bash in January. So maybe we can go to school and learn a little bit from them on how they're going to put it together.
I know that St. Gabriel's is not going to the crab feast this year
No, they're not.
because of COVID.
Well,
They
see,
have-
a lot of that's coming down from the archdiocese, and that's what we have to, well, let's not go to the archbishop. Okay. All right. We'll keep that out of here. Okay. I also sent an email to some guy by the name of Paul Corvey, who said, I'm loading up the van and the truck and I'm out of here. And he's off traveling someplace in the United States, not going anyplace else. But he said if we can do this thing, and the district's got to approve the virtual, and then we can do it virtually. But it doesn't stop us from getting the speakers, which I want to encourage Paul to get his stuff out there and get us a couple of 3 speakers to see if we can at least have the speakers ready, even if we have to do it virtually. These kids are tech smart. They know how to go on a Zoom thing and do it, from their house, put on a shirt and tie and look good.
We'll have to see how it comes together.
Okay, that we'll have to see. All right. Sharon, thanks for the note on the Amazon cards that we provided for, what is it, the council?
Yes, for the cabinet meeting.
Cabinet meeting, okay.
Those are door prizes for the cabinet meeting, which my region is hosting.
Okay, I knew it started with a C.
And you guys are part of the region.
Okay.
They will go in the mail tomorrow to the secretary.
Yeah, I told her to look for them, that they were coming.
All right. Do we think at this point, if you all got it from Miss Emily, this letter, Lyle, did you send this out to everybody?
Mhm.
It
Yeah.
went out to everybody.
Today.
Yeah,
Did you get a chance to look at it?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Let's kind of go around the table. Lion Bill, where did you go to high school?
Cigar.
Oh,
No saint
Okay.
or anybody that's in trouble, so.
all right. Well, I understand that. And, being an SI guy, that's another, we go into the rest of that later. George, where did you go to high school?
Westmore.
Okay. Bill, where did you go to high school?
Immaculate Conception.
Oh, I see. My. I wonder if she knows Margaret.
But I
Sharon,
had a
where
lot
did
of
you-
friends who went to Powell and Mission and Jefferson.
Yep, there you go, Jefferson. Sharon,
Yeah.
where did you go to high school?
Lowell.
Lowell.
Yes.
I'm impressed.
Yeah, they want to rename Lowell.
Was that was the when it was on the new campus over here in the
I want 1 year at the old brick building and 2 years at Stonestown.
Oh, okay. Oh, the old brick building. Yes, remember that. Down in Masonic. Lyle, did you go to high school?
Just barely. I went to Balboa.
You went to
Oh,
Powell?
I didn't know that.
Oh, good.
I
Okay.
am not quite sure what to make of this renaming effort. As citizens out in the wild, so to speak, I seriously doubt if there's anything at all or anything that we could say as individuals that will sway. I almost said something I shouldn't say.
Yes.
That will sway the people making the decision, because
Yeah.
they are all what they call now woke individuals.
Yeah,
They are
Yes.
so,
yeah.
regardless of what color they are or anything else, they are so sensitive to everybody's feelings and everything else that it is a total waste of my time to do anything with this. And I have asked Emily not to copy me on all the emails that are going to go back and forth on this, because I really do feel it's a waste of time.
You know, I have to
Unfortunately.
agree with Lyle that my first reaction to that email was similar to you, Lyle. It's that no one wants to listen to this, number one. And I just think it won't go anywhere.
Well, I think we need to have information from the school district on why they're doing it and what schools they're going to be targeting. Because just because they send out a list of 44 doesn't mean all 44 are going to be changed. So I think we need to get more information.
So they're going to find something wrong with all 44.
Well, that's not my point. Is we just need to hear both sides of it. We need to hear from the school districts why they want to do it and what schools they're targeting.
Well, we know what schools they're targeting. You can get the the list from from the district, and she gave us the sort of the information. The thing is, I'll agree with the fact we're dealing with people who are too sensitive to life, and consequently they want to go ahead and do it, and there's nobody really there to fight them. Now, the reason I approach this as a historian and from this area, and I've already done a little research and talked to a few people. When they first attacked George Washington and the murals that are out there, this got a few of us in the Westerners and a few of the historians that I know that you don't do that. Oh, well, the kids can't walk up and down the stairs. As somebody used to say, who was the guy that said, get over it? Okay. Oh, the Eagles have a great song called Get Over It. They always ought to listen to that. But I think we got to say something, at least give a little support to this and the guys who went to Val and all the other places and so forth. But I just pulled an article up here. We're not from Well, you know him. He's Judge Andrew Napolitano, okay? And as he says in here, and we're talking about, you know, when they started taking down the statues, that was the beginning, and this is a long process for them. But as he says at the end of this, we live in a new world where bad men did good things and good men did bad things, and intelligent people recognize this. And that's what we have to do, is recognize it. And I want to give Emily a little, you know, support here that the club, you know, wants to do something and keep it. Because as a friend of mine says, Bob, what happens if they would come in and change the Lions Club? And you could no longer be the Lions Club. You're not going to be the Pussycats. Okay? So if we let them in a little door, well, you know how the rest of that goes. And we don't want to get too, quote, go down there. That's a discussion for another time. Okay? Sharon, what's going on at the San Francisco Coordinating Council of Lions this week that we should know about, that I should know about?
This month they're doing a Halloween meeting with the Peninsula Lions. So
A Halloween meeting.
yeah, it won't be
Okay.
regular. They used to have a Halloween party where they rented a big restaurant and everybody came in costumes and they had a costume contest and they gave out candy and stuff. But of course, this is going to be virtual, so I have no idea how it's going to be set up. But the San Francisco Council is not having a regular meeting this month.
Okay, good. All right. All right. I wonder
You're
what
more than
virtual
welcome
candy tastes like.
You're more than welcome to join in and do the Halloween thing if you want to.
Well, if they're passing out candy, you know, Tootsie
I don't
Rolls,
know what
Milky
they're gonna be
Ways, I'm in
doing.
line.
I don't know what they're going to be doing.
Okay. All right.
They
Well, as a
used to
couple,
hand out 10 bags of candies
Okay.
years ago.
As
Last
a-
year, no one came.
well, as a couple of you know, I ask you to kind of think about Halloween and what you did as a kid here in you know, San Francisco, and wandering around the streets and trying to be. So, Bill, would you look at me first? Okay, I think he's taking a nap. And can you say something about what you did as a kid and what came to the house and what didn't and so forth?
I would say for Halloween, I missed out. I'm a little deaf. I got to repeat what you want me to say.
Well, the conversation we had on how you and your dad handled Halloween.
Well, number one, I have an aunt and uncle that lived in Parkside. So as my parents took us over from Bayview to Parkside, we had to go through St. Francis Woods. And my sister and I were so cute. We got so much candy from those generous people over there, except for one lady who said, you're not one of the kids around here. So she wouldn't give us any candy.
Oh,
We were kids, so we didn't throw an egg at her house. But we were invited to parties. They said, come on in, and we're having a party, a bunch of kids. Well, we couldn't go because we had to do a few houses and then go over to my relative's house. But it was very nice. Now, I live in the Bayview, as you know, and my father loved Halloween. And he always made a point to have the candy. And the way our house is made, we have a tunnel entrance, and then you have to go up. You can't see the gate from the front door, okay? So the kids would come up, and mostly black kids. And if they didn't say thank you, the parents made them come back up the stairs and say thank you. So
Hey,
there's a lot of good people everywhere. That's just part
you didn't.
of it. And the kids, it's all for the kids. Now we're in this world where we don't care anymore.
Yeah. Lion George, do you remember being a youngster and going out and doing trick-or-treating, or did you just do the tricks?
Mainly trick-or-treating when I was a young lad, and then as I got older in the 18, 19-year-old age, I used to go down to Polk Street, and they used to have a big party. I had a couple girls that I used to go with. It was quite an event.
I sort
So
of
you
remember
got a
that
lot of
Oak Street
treats.
thing.
Pardon me?
Oh,
You
adults.
got a lot of treats.
Yeah, it was interesting. I learned a lot.
Oh,
I bet.
is that the word? Interesting.
Oh, it's
Okay.
interesting. Okay.
Whatever. All right.
Sharon, what did you do trick or treat time?
Well, when I was a kid,
Yes.
well, when I was a kid, we lived in the Haight-Ashbury, so we used to go down on Haight Street and hit all the bars because the bar guys always had hard-boiled eggs and stuff out on the bars for the drinkers. And the drinkers would give us change because they didn't have any candy to hand out.
Oh,
So we had a good racket going there.
You
And
did,
then they
yeah.
then they
I had
used to
heard
have a
that
big-
one.
Then they used to have a big stage down at the end of Haight Street that had music playing, and I think they had a costume contest. It was a lot of fun. And in that neighborhood, there were a lot of the Victorian houses, that are 2 units. And I remember this one house, the lady had the whole house inside all decorated. And on each, well, not each stair, but on several stairs, she would have boxes that had a hole in the top. You'd have to reach inside to get what you wanted, and you never knew what was going to be in that box.
That's cute. I like
Yeah,
that.
and it was all
Very
decorated, she had scary music going, and it was really fun.
Was this Lower Haight?
This was on Masonic. And
Oh, on Masonic. Okay, that's
Yeah.
Upper Haight. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember.
In
I saw-
those days, you didn't have to worry so much about, I used to go with my brother. He was 4 years older than I was, so he had older friends, and I'd go along with them, and so because my mom wouldn't let me out by myself, or if I had friends, one of my good friends, she used to go with us. We had to go with my brother and his friends, but you didn't have to worry about people giving, razor blades and all that kind of stuff.
No, we
It didn't-
didn't back in those days.
You
Okay.
didn't have to worry about that.
All right.
Used to get the popcorn balls. We used to get popsicles because we always used to hit the house where the lady always gave out popsicles. We used to hit that halfway through our little walk, and it was just a lot of fun.
Viola, did you do anything out in the Excelsior we don't need to know about?
Well, I went trick-or-treating with the Calcanos. They're a big Italian family, and so every Halloween I'd go out with them, and their dad would walk with us all around the neighborhood for hours. We couldn't leave the house until it was dark. Okay, you had to go when it was dark. You couldn't leave before it was dark. So I went with the Calcanos, and then later on, I took my child trick-or-treating in the same neighborhood. So it was,
Oh,
I have a lot of good memories of Halloween and going out trick-or-treating and knowing all my neighbors and the neighbors knowing you, and it was nice.
Yeah, that was the days when we knew our neighbors and they knew us. Okay.
Yeah, we knew everyone.
Yeah.
The spinsters who lived 2 houses up from me who didn't have any relatives, and when they passed away, they gave everything to the paper boy.
Oh,
True story. They gave everything to the paper boy. And then, old lady Appleton, she had like 1 million cats, and an old Victorian building. Oh, it was great. I had a great childhood.
Sandy, what do they do in the Philippines?
we don't have trick or treating. We don't observe that. What we do the night before, which is your trick or treat time, is go to the cemetery and clean all the cemetery of your relatives or parents or something. Clean it up, because the following day, which is All Saints Day, you spend 48 hours actually in the cemetery with candles and flowers and food, and you meet all your relatives and friends, And it's also an opportunity for the youngsters to see each other and have a nice date together, gathering the candle wax tears that fall off the candles and make a ball out of it. And they just go around all over the cemetery and observe All Saints Day. But the night before, you go there and start the preparation for All Saints Day. So there's no trick or treating per se. There's no distribution of candies, nor are there any costumes that you have to wear in order to get some treats.
Is it more of a religious holiday?
It is indeed. Yes. Very much so.
Yeah, here.
But if you happen to be in a poor family, because you have to rent your place if you don't buy it. So if you don't pay rent on your dead relatives or loved ones, they get your bones out and dump it in one common place, which is sad. But you still celebrate this All Saints Day with your loved ones if you still have a place, if you own it, or if you paid rent for the space.
What about the guy that was living in the cemeteries?
And there are people that lives in the cemetery back there, even today. When I used to go home, we would visit my dad and my mom's plot, and they're living there in the cemetery itself, and it's kind of scary and gross, but
They're not caretakers.
They're
No, they're
not
not
really caretakers. They're just living there.
Yeah. Huh, interesting.
Yeah.
Some of the tombs and mausoleums are so big, okay, where they have generations of family, that they have maybe 2 or 3 members of the extended family living in there. That's where they live.
Yeah.
Okay, take a deep breath and pray. And Lyle, you had to stay home, right? You didn't get to go out.
I grew up in San Francisco, but we moved when I was a kid. We lived in, I don't know, 10 places.
Yeah,
A lot of instability. I went trick-or-treating a few times. It was never a huge holiday for me or a huge thing for me, but maybe because of the instability or whatever. But I had some good times. Unusual places we lived, but it was all good.
Nobody ever did anything, bad. I mean, you didn't, tie rope around doors or took soap and went over the
house
screen.
or whatever.
Come on, people are too nice. Yeah,
What they did, Bob.
Well, that's what we did.
Investment for that.
Yeah, but that's in Carson City. That's what we did. We'd have soap and we'd go. You had the screens and you put the soap on the screen or on the screen door and so forth, and or you go out. Guys who had vegetable gardens, you go out and try to find a carrot or two and take off with that. But
you're the only reprobate.
Yeah, I know. I know.
And we chose you for the leader.
Then when you got in high school, you used to get to go to some of the hotels, but that's another story. Okay, that's enough. Okay. Anybody have anything they want to say? Input, output.
How are there any members here that like Panda Express?
Yeah.
Panda Express?
Yeah.
Yes, Panda Express.
Oh, the Chinese takeout?
Yes.
Yeah, the ones that were in Stonestown.
Yeah, I like them.
Okay.
Why?
Just
you didn't like them?
Just getting some thoughts together. That's all.
Yeah, they're good.
Okay.
Yes,
How about you, George?
Never ate there.
Never ate there. The yellow?
Yeah, they're okay.
They're okay. They're not spectacular, but they're okay.
No, I have my favorite place in my neighborhood I like to go to.
Yeah.
Yeah, Panda Express is.
What's that?
You have a good Chinese restaurant in your neighborhood?
Yes, it's home style. It's not fancy, but they give you a good portion, and it's it's decent. It's home style.
Oh,
Where's
You
it
know?
at?
Yeah, it's Hunan. It's not the Hunan restaurant. We've got a bunch of Hunan restaurants in the neighborhood, but she always knows what I like. She knows everybody. It's like I love that place.
She fixes you up, huh?
Yeah,
And
fixes
it
me
depends
up.
on- Yeah. Larry, it depends on.
It's a chain, so it's different.
Yeah, it is
It
the
is. It
chain.
is a change. There's one in
It
Stonestown.
depends.
It's mostly Cantonese, which means it's the mild stuff. And but occasionally you can go through there and you stand in the food court. I'll get one from over there, one from over there, and you can put a quick meal together. I don't eat in the food court. We take it home. But
In
but
the
I think we,
Stonestown store, they're very good. But there are other branch offices of Panda Express that's not as good.
Yeah,
Well, yeah, no, it's not the top of the line, that's for sure.
no.
Well, it's just fast food.
Yeah,
It's
fast food.
edible.
It's fast food. And for,
Yeah,
it's not that, it's okay for fast food. It's not the Chinese food you'd get in a good restaurant where you could sit
Oh,
down.
no, I'm not even thinking in those terms.
But for fast food, I think
We lost you, Sharon.
I said I have to watch it because some of the stuff is too spicy for me. Like the
Yeah, Hunan,
yeah.
yeah. And when we go into with Mr. Wynn's over here or a couple of other Chinese, the Riverside, which is unfortunately across the street from a school that will get named. Thank you very much. They get rid of her, and you get them, they know you. You know what their menu is. You go in. Oh, we like Mr. Wonton's. I mean, he's cool. But so you find your restaurants that they know you, you know them, you know their food, and what you like, and you get in and out. And only issue we have here in the Bay Area, we got too many choices. And but the family ones are the ones that I'll go first. I don't want to, they need the support and everything else. They're usually pretty good. Okay. Well, Mr. Graziano, I think we've come to a time where you can give your favorite announcement.
Well, just one thing about the November the 1st, the Day of the Dead. The Mexicans celebrate it. If anybody's interested, the Skylon Cemetery. There off of 280, you go up, across the Crystal Springs. It's a cemetery there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They have quite an event there.
Really?
And they have music and they have food and.
The Skylon.
I've been there. Someone has told me. So they said it's really very nice. So.
It is usually
I
festive.
didn't know that.
Look up on the internet. And
you
check it
go
out.
up to down 280 over the hill like you're going to Half Moon Bay. It's up the top of the hill. We have a couple of good clampers buried up there.
That's on November 1st. Yeah, that's the same kind of atmosphere in the Philippines on November 1st. Even though you prepare, you actually celebrate and you have. I don't think they have music, but they have a lot of gathering and visiting with relatives, dead and alive, and eat with them.
everybody. You can't have a Filipino get together without feeding everybody. That's just kind of the way it is, whether it's life, death, or any place in between. All right, Mr. Graziano, make your motion, please.
I make a motion we adjourn.
Okay, all those in. Okay, we have adjourned at least this part of the meeting, and I think life will go on. Okay.
All right.
And if you have anything that comes up, you want to, say, just send it to me, and we'll continue with it. But I think we got through some of the things tonight. We got issues to work on, but yet we've got some areas that are still bringing some revenue in that we can turn around and pass on to the folks that we need out there. Okay.
Excellent.
All right.
Fantastic.
Nice seeing everyone.
We'll see you all in a couple weeks.
And be well, everyone.
Aloha.
But
Let's go to Hawaii. Bill, can you still hear me? Oh, he's gone. There you are. Bill, can you still hear me? Bill. I don't think
Be
he's
able to hear
hearing me.
you.
Bill, can you, if you can hear me, the subject we talked about for the 49ers, I'll contact you tomorrow.
Okay, very good.
All right?
And George will call you sometime.
Ooh, all right.
Oh yeah,
Sounds
George, I need, you don't mind if we do a little business here. George, you know, the on the kitchen sink, the old thing is there, you go like this and it comes out of here. Well, it's leaking. It's time to get one of those fancy ones that goes like this, and you got the thing you pull out and clean the dishes this way.
But my shower room is becoming to be like a swimming pool right now.
Well, that's easy. They can do that. I'm trying to put all these
It's
things
amazing.
together. Well, that's your hair, not mine. I don't have much hair left.
Excuse me. Sorry.
Anyhow,
Personal.
if you've got a what do you call that? You know, a suggestion for you know, and in your book someplace, send it to me, and then we can get you out to do something that has to be done, okay, and as well as take care of a certain flow in the spa, okay.
You got it.
Flow up, flow out.
I'll send something
Thank
to
you
you
so
tomorrow.
much.
Okay, and thanks
Take
for the
care,
contractor.
everyone.
The guys across the street who needed a contractor to do the fence, they appreciate that.
Excellent, excellent.
Okay.
Anybody
Thank you
thinking
so
about
much.
any vacations? Yep.
What?
Anybody thinking about any vacations coming up?
Staycations?
Yeah, vacation. You know, when you
Wish
go
I could.
someplace and have a good time.
well, I'm going to go
my-
to Utah.
Oh,
well,
really?
My brother wants me to come up to
What?
Reno.
You
and see-
mentioned that, Viela. Are you visiting or you're staying?
No, I'm visiting.
Thank you.
I'm going to go. I'm going to go there for Christmas. Stay about 2 weeks.
Nice.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice.
Yeah, yeah.
Sunday, we went up to Pioneer, and on the way back, there's that Jackson Rancheria. It's that Indian gaming casino.
Oh,
And, so we wanted to get a cup of coffee and find a bathroom is what we were after. And we went in there, and it was really nice. I mean, it was they social distance. You know, you came in and they give you some hand stuff to, you know, and made sure everybody wore masks, and the slot machines were loose. It was a good
oh,
time.
the slot machines were loose. Oh, okay.
Yeah, we were there for about an hour, and each of us walked away with 100+. So that was a
Oh,
big win as far as I was concerned.
Oh, well,
that's
that's a good place
nice.
to stop. Okay.
Yeah, we were playing the penny slot machines, you know. So
There you go,
That's
Zach.
good. They
Big-
came up with
big money.
$100.
Penny slot machine.
yeah,
That's nice.
but it was nice. It was a nice, clean place, you know.
Mm.
It's a simple pleasure that gives you the happiness, George.
Yeah.
Well,
I hate to hang up, but I'll be here.
nice. I can't
See
believe
you all.
nobody's got vacations on their mind.
I know, now you thought about it. I wish I could. I know Bob wanted to go to Reno.
I'd love to
We
take
have family up there. We had a long talk with them, and they wanted us to, you know, to come up and so forth. And it's kind
Our
of
son is stopping us from taking flights.
yeah. Sean says, "Don't get on a plane. You can't do that." You know, and then I go, "Yeah, sure. Okay, thank you."
Yeah.
I says, "Good. Why don't you drive us up? It's only about 4.5 hours."
I've been toying with the idea of going back up to Alaska again.
Oh,
You're gonna go to Alaska?
I'm toying with the idea.
How would you go? By train
Go
or?
by cruise.
Oh, that would be lovely.
Yeah.
That would be really lovely.
they had a 7.5 earthquake in Alaska live.
It's
at
okay.
Denali.
Good. It's all over with then.
It's
Huh?
all over
Forget
with.
about
Now
it.
they shook things up, and we've had the tsunami down here. Which Lyle, would you go up the inland passage or go all the way to the top?
No, I don't. I would like the inland passage into my brain just died. Into Victoria, into those areas, I think would be very nice. It might be a little long though, in
That's a
terms
little-
of time. more time than perhaps I have. But Denali, that's what I was thinking. But
Yeah. That's where the earthquake was.
okay, well, fine.
Well, we
Like I
can-
No,
said,
they said that
they had
Denali
it over
have,
and done. It's
Denali
safe.
have 100 earthquakes all the time, but no one feels them because they're minor. Then they just had a 7.5.
Well,
It seems to-
Well,
I'm
that's
old.
the same
I'm
in
not sure of my
California.
feet. It could be an earthquake.
Yeah, yeah,
That's the same in California. You have 100 earthquakes you don't feel.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
not worried
so
about that.
we
but
went
no,
up the
I
Inland
tried to
Passage.
get a cruise that left out of San Francisco.
Oh, okay.
Wow. Well, that would be
Yes, well, I
fun.
hope you do it. But are you gonna do it around Thanksgiving, Christmas,
No,
sometime
no,
next
no.
year?
May
Oh,
would
okay,
be
next
about the
year.
best time.
See, that's a good time to do it,
Yes.
Yeah.
okay?
Because
Because,
the weather up there is very clear. It's
Yep.
warm.
Yep.
It's very nice. It's
that's
a
the
good
time we
so-
were up there.
what
Okay,
cruise
and-
line do you use?
Last time we were in Alaska, we used I think it was Celebrity last time we were up there, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
I could
Is
be
it a smaller
I could
ship?
be misremembering, but I'm not sure.
Is it a smaller cruise ship when you
No,
go to
this was a
Alaska?
fairly large cruise
Mm.
ship. I really like the smaller cruise ships, but they
Yeah.
tend to be quite expensive.
Yeah, I know. My
Um,
fantasy is Norwegian.
I agree with you.
Yeah,
We
but
took a Norwegian cruise. I
Yeah.
don't even remember where in the hell we went, but it was a very nice cruise line.
yeah,
But last we were in Alaska was I want to say 2003, 2004. It's been quite a while, but I had a great time up there.
yeah.
Well, I only went on that cruise up the Inland Passage so I could get to the White Pass Railroad and ride it all the way up to the top. It was nice. We got in there about May 3rd and 4th, and we were the second or third boat in, and the train was sitting there waiting for us, and we went all the way up.
The
You know,
weather was fantastic at that time of year.
Until you, and even up on top, there was snow, okay, and but it was just, it was really nice, and I'd go back to ride another train up there, but so we went there, and 3, 4 other places that we stopped. But the thing I remember, we were in Glacier Bay, and it was so still and so quiet, and the air, boy, could you take a deep breath, and you knew you were getting good, clean oxygen and air. It was,
Yes.
I just remember that, and it was just.
And that's where I learned the difference between Celebrity and Norwegian. Norwegian, their ship was small. It went almost right up to the edge of the glacier. It was very,
Wow.
very close.
Wow.
They had small excursion ships or boats that went out and went even closer to the glacier. We were on a quite large ship, and we didn't even get nearly as close as they did. But it was all good. It was really funny. Up in the front, there was a wind blowing. It was pretty cold. We had fairly heavy jackets on. We went back to the fantail, and there were people that were sunbathing.
Wow.
So that's the difference between being in the wind and out of the wind.
Yeah.
It was still sunny, but it was chilly. It was actually quite funny. We had those Russian hats. I can't remember what they're called. And all of us had, or Linda and I had those hats, and we had pictures with people sunbathing. It was bizarre but fun.
We went with 2 other couples, and we
were there with a whole bunch of people. I don't see any opportunity to get a large group like that together right now. We might be able to get together some people, but it definitely wouldn't be a large group. But it is fun. We had late seating at dinner, which started at, I think, 8 o'clock or something like that. And we were almost always the last group in the dining room.
Yeah.
Because we had, I don't know, 10, 12 people at the table, however many it was. And
One thing
people
we
we've
found
never
out.
met before, but it was fun.
One thing we
A
found
lot
out
of
that most of the
talking, lot
Yeah.
of good times.
one thing we found out that most of the crew was Filipina, and most of the cooks were Filipino. Okay, and we happened to mention to somebody, we've been out a couple nights and I haven't had any Filipino food. And by God, at dinner that night, they brought it out. You know,
Oh,
people
really?
looking at us, how the hell did you get that
Let's to
stuff?
our
Well,
table.
they brought it
Let's
out
to
to
our
our table. And you know, I go, wow, yeah. So and on one of the cruises, my buddy Hector was telling me they took his mother downstairs to their kitchen because she's such a good cook, and they were having her cook for part of the cruise. So
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's amazing how many people are actually on the cruise ship itself. There's almost as many wait staff as there is passengers.
Passengers, yeah.
And so the facilities they have for the wait crew and the people working on the ship are humongous, just like they are for the passengers.
Wow.
Yeah, they've got a whole, game rooms down there, and lounges and so forth, and yeah, the television, things like that. Yeah, it is a different type of travel, rather than go to the hotel, get your nice fancy room at the hotel, and take the elevator downstairs, because you're in the same atmosphere. And I like waking up in different atmospheres, so to speak, and going out and going to that Indian village, and they danced for us,
Yeah.
and so forth.
All the towns up there are quite nice to go into. It's a lot of fun.
I think the ladies liked when the lumberjacks went up those big poles and they were going like this. You know, those guys were all built up.
Yes.
Yeah.
We like them.
George is not into cruises. He doesn't think he'd find anything to do on the cruise boat.
Well, I don't like cruises. After that, I am into flying and get there now, immediately in a few hours. But I went to the cruise just because we were with the other two couples.
And we all traveled other places too, mostly by plane, but
I only want to fly, being in the business.
you
But
spoil.
have a wonderful day and evening. Be safe.
Okay,
be
people,
well.
enjoy.
Love you
Okay,
all.
guys.
We'll see you
Okay.
all later.
Thank
All
you.
right.
Night.
Bye-bye.
I'm gonna end this show boat. Hasta la vista, babies.
Allora, ci vediamo.